to start out with a little timeline here. So, according to Google research here, through evolution, 300,000 years ago, the beginning of man. So, if you go to the biblical version, it's approximately 6,000 years. And so it's quite a difference there, but doesn't really matter. Okay. Dinosaurs. I'm just giving reference. I'm not going to get into the actual meaning or anything like that of dinosaurs. So they say between 243 and 233 million years old. So here we find the first dinosaur egg, supposedly, 1859. First scientifically documented dinosaur egg fossils were discovered in southern France by a Catholic priest. Yeah, that sounds accurate. An amateur naturalist named Father whatever. 1859. So basically you're telling me, we'll just go to the biblical one here, nobody dug until 1859. Okay. So how long does it take for a civilization to start digging up discoveries? How old is the old world really? It's seeming more likely it's 1700s to the early 1800s when this catastrophe happened. They've confused the mind so much that when you look at one thing, it's millions of years old, and you look at another, it's thousands or just a few hundred or 150. But the main point is, when was the shovel invented? Because I don't see anybody digging, according to the narrative, till 1800s, as far as discoveries, so-called, being made. I'm going to shoot through some pics, older pics in small towns of Alabama. This is one in Lafayette, Alabama. All of them basically in the 1800s supposed builds. But what I'm referencing here is, if you look closely, you can see this brick archway. Well, they built with rock, is what they say, and mixed with brick, but this is the only brick you see here. And I'm not sure how you really explain this. You have tons of brick and you're just mixing them all in with rock. Still, to me, this is just the outer covering, the layering. This was all here and destroyed, and then they just put narratives or build on them. And even if they add on to these buildings, they can say in the narrative that, hey, this is built, say, 1902 or whatever year they want, and then you have people maybe saying, my great-grandfather, yes, built that. But in reality, you're just building on top of what was already there. More obvious brick. A colossal mess, transitioning from brick to rock. Okay, so they were building these things, and I guess they went and got pallets of brick and rock, some slate, and just whatever was laying around, I guess, and just mortar it all together. But you see how it's changing here. It's just not built like this. Here's the supposed mill, built in the 1800s, popular year, popular century, for building with donkeys, carts, and not much means or money. But why are you doing this? And how are you doing this? You can see the lines here is just blocked up brick. And of course, there's just no construction photos of any of this. No blueprints, nothing. Just words on a page. Here, another mill in Georgia, supposed. They didn't have too many bricks on this one apparently, and they just supposedly put a bunch of rocks together. No construction photos, of course, no blueprints, just believe it. Here's a small town I've been to, Camp Hill. There's a black and white. And we're seeing the same thing as we see everywhere in the 1800s or early 1900s, they say. Rock, brick, stone. And what is this? This is cooked brick in the middle of iron. Right there, plain as day. Underneath it looks like rock, but it's just cooked brick. On the sides of the walls here, you can see it crystallizing right there. I mean, who in their right mind would build like this? On top with rocks, blocks, bricks, outer covering. It makes no sense because it wasn't built like this. This town has a population of maybe 1,000, I think. It hasn't changed throughout so-called history. And look at this. It's just all in the middle, up and down rock mixed with brick. It's gotten pulverized by something. Just adding a narrative to it. Here you can see it's just melting. I mean, this is not weathering. Here you have what you want to call, or some call, mud flooding. 3 brick deep here. I always say old world buildings are at least 3 brick deep. And the yellow brick transitioning to the red, and here's black. Where's the mortar gone? Right there, you can see it. It's just disappeared. Archways after archways, extravagant brick buildings that supposedly were built in the 1800s or early 1900s. Can't really find anything, of course. There's no construction, blueprints, Of course, then you have bricks like that hanging on the side, bricks popping out, black, red, yellow. Take your pick. All these buildings everywhere seem to be repurposed, painted, added on to. That's it. We didn't build anything. We just build crap now, and you can see the crap up there. The wind taking it off. This is the Coaldale Brick Factory, built 1888, supposedly. Why would you be doing this so closely? You can see the extensive amount of brick, and apparently they claim that they built this wall, I guess, against this rock. So if you look closely here, you can see this brick, what it's doing here, this is melting. Right here, you even have leftover obvious impressions of brick. Up here, now this is all supposed to be natural on the left side here. But you can see that it's the same thing as here to the right. This is all melting. You just have a thin layer basically all the way up. Here's what's right underneath. Here's a little wider shot. But check this out. First of all, why would you ever do that? You're building a big brick factory, right? So why do you have to edge up all your brick towards all this supposed rock? You can see here the brick impressions. This is all brick. It once was. So here's a prime example of what is underneath what looks like concrete back here. Well, it's all brick underneath. You can see here the brick is going down a little bit here. It's a little messed up. There's yellow, red, all different colors. This is darkening. This is all melted. The whole internals of these structures like this that are supposedly really old, they're all brick internals, just like columns. Check this mortar out. What's going on here? This isn't from weathering. That should all be doing the same thing, basically. You can see the melting going on. Again, we have yellow, red brick. To me, this was more cooked out. It was all once red. You have a little red one right there. You have this kind of stuff. It's just cooked out. Brick internals, it changed to this. Just cooked pieces of brick everywhere. Everywhere you walk. Construction looking like a dam in certain places, but what is all the support for? What is it for? A brick factory? Here we're looking at the supposed sugar mill, Yulee in Florida. But the question here is, why are all these bricks mixed in with all this rock and coral and whatever they say it is? Looks pretty messy. Building like this, and then you just stick some bricks down here. Close-up shot of that. You can see what the brick's doing over here. What it's done, in my opinion, from the Cataclysm. Nice black brick here. We got some dark supposed coral or whatever they're saying that is. This is brick over here too. Here you can see brick compressed down. Maybe they can call that like slate, coral slate. So here, again, why are you doing this? And then you have brick here. Drifting into this right here. Still have a little piece of brick. It's changing. See, right here. Changing. You've got brick intermingled all in this mess. Here and here. Or brick here. You can see the red left over in all this expanded, what looks like used to be brick. You can still see it in here a little. It's just changed. If you zoom in here, you can see the little piece of brick there, here, and over here. There's little pieces of it all in this supposed construction of this sugar mill, 1851. More brick on top, intermingled, melting. Hello, pieces of brick.